Okay, we're live. Hello, welcome everybody. Our normal Pathfinder game is not going to happen this weekend, so instead, we're going to play Dungeon World, and we got some new people with us. If you don't know anything about Dungeon World, that's cool. It's kind of like Dungeons and Dragons. It's fantasy setting, wizards, warriors, stuff like that, dragons. The only difference is it's a little more of a narrative game. There's not as many X's and O's. The rules are a little more simple, and that's pretty much all you need to know. So let's introduce our characters. Let's start with Finn. Just, I don't know, give us like a brief overview of your character and what his motivations are.
It's Finn, the human ranger, fighting for the rights of all little fluffy creatures from the evil humans raping his land.
Okay. And Asha. Let's learn a little bit about Asha.
Asha is a female cleric of Bahamut, the dragon god. Her mission is to foster strength in people because Bahamut sees acts of good as true strength. People who are evil do so out of weakness.
Okay, so Bahamut is it would be like sort of like a good aligned deity,
Lawful
but it's
good.
lawful good.
Yep.
Okay. All right, and Mordecai, why don't you talk about yourself?
Okay, so Mordecai is an elf ranger. An elf fighter, and he's a mercenary. He lives for money, and that's the only thing he likes. He's a lonely wolf, but in this campaign, was contracted by Asha as a bodyguard, and he's attached to her until the contract ends or the mission is finished.
Okay, and what's let's see. So, what's the relationship between Finn and Asha?
I've seen that she has been raised mainly in the towns and the cities and really hasn't got a clue what life's really like out in the wilds. So I've taken it upon myself to make sure that she can learn something and be safe out in the wilds.
Okay, and how long have you guys been traveling together? I guess the three of you.
What's it?
Oh, a week?
A week? Okay, so
Actually, it's 6 days.
6 days. All right, so you guys are only like briefly acquainted then,
Yes.
Yep.
and something something interesting happened when you guys all met. What was it?
That's
Well,
hard
I have an
question.
animal companion, which is a wolf, and I followed her into their camp one night, and realised that there was no safety from animals. There was no crime prevention. They're both asleep in the middle of nowhere, just victims waiting to be have their throats slit, and realised how incompetent their mercenary guard must be to leave him in that position. So I decided that I'd watch over them just for the night, but I was intrigued.
Okay. I guess we'll go ahead. Even though like this may just be a one shot, if you guys want to go over your bonds real quick, could do that. So Finn, do you know what your bonds are?
Yeah. My bond to Asher is that she doesn't understand life in the wild, and I will teach her. And my bond to Mordecai is that he has no respect for the wild, and so I have no respect for him.
Okay. And Asha, what are your bonds?
My bond to Finn is to show him the power of friendship. Because this is a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah, I was
and
like, it's a brony moment. Wait, they have.
and he's spent his whole life alone in the wild because he distrusts people.
Hmm.
And I want him to. I want to foster that trust because strength between people is strength, and strength is good. And Mordecai seems obsessed with money, which is, in Bahamut's eyes, kind of a petty endeavor. And I want him to see that there's much more to life than money.
Okay. I don't know, Mordecai. I don't know if you picked any bonds. I didn't see any.
Yeah, I have sworn to protect Asha. That's it, because I'm a mercenary and we had a contract. And I worry about the ability of Finn to survive in whatever dungeon and danger in the forest.
Okay. And one of you guys has a secret. Who is it, and what is the secret?
Can I decide for somebody else?
I mean, if no one's got one, then sure.
No one's
go
going to
ahead.
talk.
As long as
How
they
do we
don't, as long as they like it, I guess.
As long as they like it, okay.
I am not a hermaphrodite. It's just not going to happen.
It doesn't have to be like some crazy secret. It could just be, something interesting.
Secret Lich King. Just kidding.
I know Finn's father is a king, but he doesn't know it, and I do.
Okay.
He's the bastard son of the king of the city I grew up in.
Okay.
And this truth was revealed to me through Bahamut, and Finn will play an important role in the future ahead.
Okay, so it sounds like Finn coming across you may have not been chance after all.
Bahamut may have guided us through his mighty aerial wings of destiny.
All right. So, would there be like a high priest or something like that of Bahamut or something, or?
Perhaps there was a high priest of Bahamut in the city that I grew up in.
Okay, so
I'm just a level 1 character. I don't know if I'm allowed to be a high priest of Bahamut at level 1.
well, I was just gonna say the high priest from the city that you're from has sent you out for a reason. Why? How come he sent you out? What are you looking for?
Disciples of Bahamut must be tested through trial by combat and petition.
Okay, so is there any?
Or add petition.
So at this point, is it like, are you guys just kind of wandering? There's not really like a destination in mind.
If I'm not mistaken, we're after a ancient dungeon to find some gems, wasn't it? I think Asha, in the contract I had with Asha,
Yeah,
I received some sapphires.
I paid him with sapphires that Bahamut led me to.
Okay.
But I paid him a small sapphire that contracted him for a week.
I see. Okay.
So perhaps we need more money to continue funding our adventures. Unless anybody has an idea they like, I'm open to.
That sounds good to me. So you guys have been traveling now for I guess a few days as a group, and you're kind of like in the foothills of the Trollsbad Mountains, and these mountains are very well known to house all kinds of rotten creatures, and there are many tales of glory and gold and the like. But so far, your journey's been pretty uneventful. You haven't really seen anything. You haven't run into anybody. And as you're walking along, you notice some smoke coming up from something in the distance, but you can't see exactly what it is yet.
What color smoke is it?
It's like a grayish black smoke, I guess. Not real thick, just sort of.
Finn, can you smell what kind of smoke, like what's burning? Does that smell like wood smoke to you or something else?
It doesn't smell like a forest fire. It's not like that piney, deciduous tree smell. So there's obviously something else involved in it.
Perhaps we should approach stealthily, gauge the situation.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Your orders, Aisha.
Okay. So as you guys get a little bit closer, you see that the smoke is coming from a small hut on the top of a hill, and it looks the hut looks a little strange. It's kind of the architecture is very primitive, and it looks like it's kind of made of like mud and sticks and rocks and just all kinds of whatevers. And outside the hut, you see there's a large pen full of goats.
In your travels, have you met the man who lives here, Finn?
No, I normally leave several days travel from this area. It's only in my travels with you that we've come here. So I have no clue who it could be.
Well, let's
I don't.
hurry. Maybe he needs our help.
Is the fire actually coming? Is the building on fire, or is it like cook smoke from the fire?
No, it looks like it's coming from like a crude chimney. And you start to smell like sort of like some food smells as well.
I look if there's any tree chopped down or any tree that is gutted near this hut.
You're looking for a tree to chop down?
Yeah. Is there any?
Yeah, it's some light trees. It's not like a forest, but yeah, there's some trees, some small trees.
No, I mean if they are chopped down, or just the.
Oh, like is there? Yeah, okay. No, not really. You don't notice anything like that.
How many spells per day do I get?
That's a good question. I don't think you get spells per day. I think you have like. Oh, you mean like how many can you have prepared per day? Is that what you're saying?
My understanding was that they're all technically prepared. I don't need to prepare them, but I do get a limited amount. Is that correct?
I don't remember. Hold on. Okay, so like when as a priest, you have to commune with your deity for an hour, and you prepare all your rotes, which are like sort of like your like orisons, like they're just kind of like like light, sanctifying guidance. They don't count against your limit. Okay.
I also get one wizard spell because I'm a human cleric.
That's right. Okay.
That will be magic missile.
Always.
I don't even know. I don't even have to think about it.
All right. So when you
Yourself.
when you commune with your deity, you're granted new spells of your choice whose total levels don't exceed your own level plus 1. So basically, you have 2 levels, but you can only cast spells up to what level you are. So in other words, you can have 2 first level spells prepared. Now the thing about preparing spells is that if you cast them, it doesn't necessarily mean that they go away. You still have them.
Okay.
But they could go away. Like when you cast it, doesn't automatically go away, but it might.
I will have bless and cure light wounds prepared.
Okay. And then the rotes you automatically have.
Cool.
All right, that's good. All right, so I'm sorry. Did I answer your question, Hador, or did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I said, I doubt it's a lumberjack family living in this hut, and well.
Yeah. Well, I say let's go. Maybe they're in danger, and I run towards it.
I don't think it's a fire. It looks like it's just cooking fire. It's not
I thought the house was on. I thought we okay. I thought the house was on fire.
I did originally, but
I slowly approach the house.
Quick, they're having dinner. Charge.
Okay,
so let's say hi to them.
As you approach, you notice that there's a small, like, crude fence around the property, and you see two kind of short, just like gross-looking creatures. You recognize them to be goblins, and they're just standing out in front of the front gate. They don't have any weapons drawn, but they do have, like, they each have a spear that's sitting against the fence, and they look kind of bored.
Okay.
And they actually don't notice you at first, but as you get a little closer, you see one kind of like perks his head. And
are goblins known to be universally evil?
I mean, generally, yeah, they're considered to be, by many races, to be vile creatures with, like, less than moral means, I guess. But you know, it's not uncommon to maybe see a goblin, like, in a city or something like that, and you know, they're allowed to mingle as long as they don't cause trouble.
Okay. I'll just say hello, goblin folk.
The one turns to the other one and says something in a language that you don't understand. And he says, yes. Hello.
How are you guys today?
They both kind of grab their spears, but they don't like point them at you like menacingly. Like, they just sort of, like, you know, get them closer.
Do y'all happen to know if there's a dungeon in the area?
Dungeon?
A place of danger and death and treasure?
And they start whispering to each other. And he says, the leader will not let us talk of such things.
Would it be okay if I talked to the leader?
They sort of glance at each other nervously. He says, Why? Why do you want to talk to leader?
To learn the location of this dungeon. If he gives us the location, I would be happy to share some of the treasure we acquire from it.
One of the goblins whispers to the other one, and he says, "Come with me." And they open the fence, and he starts to walk towards the hut.
I give my party members a look that says, I think we'll be okay, but stay on guard.
Just protect yourself, Asha, if anything happens. I don't want your blood in my hand. I mean, I have only 1 day left in my contract.
1 day? What?
One
week.
Traveling for 6 days to Uganda.
I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
We need money fast.
Okay, so he walks you up to the front door of the hut, and he like bangs loudly on the door, and you hear a voice say, "What do you want?" And he says, "Leader, you have strange visitor." He says, "What? Visitors?" and you start him like you hear like things like kind of being like thrown around and like cluttered and just a bunch of crazy noises. And finally the door opens and you see this old like hunched over goblin, and he's got a monocle in one eye, and he's like carrying this really ugly crooked staff, and his like whole right side of his body is kind of like slumped over, and he kind of looks at you with the eye that's not in the monocle, like he like squints the unmonocled eye at you, and he says, "Strangers, come in!" And he just like opens the door and waves you to come inside.
Finn, what is your charisma?
It is very low. Where is it?
What's your charisma, Hador?
9 is mine.
Or Mordecai?
8.
8?
Yeah.
Mine's 9.
What's yours, Finn? 9? Jesus,
9.
we all have terrible charisma. I didn't think this through.
You seduce the Goblin King.
I'll have to, I guess.
I'll take one for the team.
Well, Finn, you do have the highest charisma. Why don't you do the talking? At least you won't get negative modifiers.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll enter into the Goblin's hut
Okay.
within the.
You guys walk in and you see like the hut is just in like a total state of disaster. Like you can barely walk through. It's like if you've ever seen that show Hoarders. Like you can't even like find a path to walk around. And there's all like manner of like vials and like animal parts and like just trinkets and pretty much everything that you can think of. It's just like a big pile of junk. He says, yes, we don't get visitors often. Have a seat." And he points to just like this pile of like wooden crates with hay on them.
I'll check my seating and then sit down. I don't want to go crashing through it.
Okay, yeah, it holds you up.
I'll just lay on the wall.
He like pushes all like this junk off of this one table, which he hops around. Like he can't walk around to it because it's all blocked. He just kind of hops over the table and he sits in this this really fancy looking chair that's all ripped up. And he says, "So, strangers, what can I do for you?" He says, I have much business with your kind sometimes."
That's good to hear. Perhaps we could have some business together. We have been travelling for many days in the forests, and have come here because there was rumour of a dungeon in the area that your tribesmen have indicated you might know of.
He shakes his head.
If you could tell us about it.
He says, Stupid. Yes, it is complicated, but and he just kind of like starts to stumble over his words, and he says, Goat, can you bring goat? I need more goat."
You wish a goat from your herd?
I'll go get a goat.
From outside?
Is that what he wants me to do? Can I intuit that he's talking to me or us?
No, he's saying like he needs more goats for his farm.
We can buy you goats with the treasure we get from the dungeon that you know of.
He kind of like looks you over. He kind of glances around. He says, "You strong warriors, right?"
We have the strength of the Dragon King Bahamut behind us.
Oh, Well, maybe you can help then. He pulls out a scroll from his pocket, which he opens up, and it's written in a tongue that you don't recognize. But he starts to chant, and like it looks like he's casting a spell. And at the end of the spell, like there's an explosion that happens like to his left, and you see there was like a chicken in a cage, and the chicken just explodes and feathers just like shoot all over the hut. And he says, "Ah, God damn it!" And he starts like pounding his fist on the table. And he says, "Well, let me just tell you." And he goes, "You see, there is a place. It's called Dark Bottom." He's like, and he says, I do not let anyone go in there, because if you do, you will die. But perhaps you will not die. We keep the queen happy by bringing her goat. But if you kill queen, we no need goat. That make me happy.
Who's this queen you speak of?
The queen of Dark Bottom. Ugh. He like shakes his head like he's almost like he's having a bad memory. Like he's like, ugh.
What is this queen?
Horns like bull. Very tall. Very ugly.
Charming lady.
Diablo?
Oh.
If you say the goblin word for devil, yeah, he shakes his head.
I don't know the goblin word for devil.
Well,
if you don't give her goats, what does she do? Does she rampage out and attack you, or does she stay in Dark Bottom always?
If I stop giving goats, bad things happen.
What's happened in the past? What power does this queen yield?
He looks at his house and he says, "This is my 10th house. I am tired of building this house."
He sounds like a dick.
Yeah, we should go and see if the queen needs the goblins getting rid of her land.
He says, "Well, if you would like to kill queen, please take goat. Maybe you can bring goat in."
To distract her with it?
Right.
Okay.
come on, Asha.
Sounds good to
Sounds
me.
like a plan. Yep.
Everyone dies. It just depends when and how.
He says,
Let's go for it.
But wait, first. Since I told you about the dungeon, you pay me for the information.
With the treasure we get from the dungeon.
Okay.
Okay.
A portion of the treasure, not all of the treasure.
We'll buy you goats with the treasure.
No more goats, please.
Oh, okay. The goats are solely for satisfying the queen.
Yes,
You're not
I'm
using them?
tired of goats.
Okay.
Ugh.
Maybe some alpacas.
You know what I've always wanted?
What's that?
Chinchillas?
No animals. Yeah, well, I don't know. I have one true calling in life that I've never been able to do.
What is that, friend?
I've always wanted to make shoes. Can you buy me the things I need to make shoes and open a shoe shop? I call it Thorgoroth Shoe Shop.
Of course.
You have deal. And he holds his hand up.
I give him my foot. My beautiful, slender foot. That that he will appreciate because he likes shoes.
True. He actually looks at your foot and he says, "Ah, yes." He kind of like looks around and you notice like a little bit of slobber like coming out the side of his mouth. And he bows his head and lets go of your foot.
Oh, old man, where is the location of this dungeon?
I will take you there now.
Okay.
He hops up from behind the desk and starts to scurry towards the door.
I follow.
Okay, so along with two of the other goblins, he sort of leads you further up the hills into where the mountains sort of start to take shape, and eventually you're up on a very high bluff, and there's sort of a winding trail that goes downwards, and at the very end you see that there are two goblin guards standing and blocking a bridge that leads to a cave entrance. The bridge, below the bridge is just like a deep drop. You can't really tell how deep it is because it's filled with fog.
I
You
throw
notice-
a piece.
Sorry, go ahead.
I just throw a piece of rock on the fissure.
Okay, well you guys are like up on a bluff now, so you have to like kind of walk down there first.
Ah, okay, sorry.
So if you guys continue on, you also notice that like all the trees are like dead, and like they don't have any leaves, and they're black and twisted, like all along this path. And it's strange because when you left the goblin's hut, it was like a nice, warm, sunny day, and as you've sort of gotten closer to this this little valley, it seems like it's getting darker and colder, and the air just like feels thicker.
Can I use any? Can I use any of these starting moves at any time?
Yeah.
I will use Divine Guidance to tell us about this place and what lies ahead.
Okay. 1 second. Okay, so go ahead and roll 2d12 plus your wisdom.
I believe it was 16.
So it'll be
Seven.
plus 2. So 2d12 plus 2.
Oh, sorry. I'll do that again.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, you'll always, anytime I ask you for a roll, it'll be, sorry, not 2d12, 2d6. Did I say 12? 2d6 plus the bonus, which is either going to be like -1, +1, 0, +2, I think, as far as you guys are. Okay, so you rolled a 7. Let me just see something real quick. Okay, so basically that's like so a 7 is a partial success. So it's like if you were to roll was it a 10 or higher? A 10 or higher would be like a full success. 7 to 9 is a partial success, and anything 6 or below is like a failure. Usually sometimes something bad will happen. So as you're trying to find divine guidance, and you said you're trying to figure out like what exactly are you praying on?
I mean,
What's the question or the knowledge that you're like looking through? Seeking?
I mean, something doesn't seem right. Obviously, everything's dead. I'm wondering what Bahamut could tell me of this place and what lies ahead.
Okay.
What's the nature? I'm assuming it's evil.
Right. You sense an evil presence, but your deity actually like grants you with some knowledge that the evil presence does not belong in this world, and that it has been put here for a reason, but doesn't tell you the reason.
Perhaps demonic, perhaps undead. Is that what otherworldly means?
Yeah, I mean, just like not from this plane of existence.
Got it.
Well, Finn,
Something
what do you,
Is
what do you
here.
know about?
What's that?
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Kimona, I was just asking Finn what does he think is happening to his little green friends?
I'll just frown at Mordecai and go, something's not right here. Whatever it is a blight on the land.
There is some sort of extra planar being here that's been put in place for some purpose that I can't determine. It could be extremely powerful. If we feel overwhelmed, I suggest we run away at the first chance. Because it could be extremely powerful. Extraplanar beings tend to be that way.
As I look at Asher, I'll think to myself that maybe she's not quite as naive as I thought she was. That sounds like a good plan.
At least when it comes to gods and planes.
Could I use hunt and track to scout the area? I know it's meant to be for following a trail, but see if there's any specific tracks or...
Sure. Yeah, go ahead and roll. It'd be 2d6 plus your wisdom bonus, which is 1.
She's 1, yeah. 11.
Okay, you notice a few things as you sort of like examine the path. You notice that there are like sets of footprints that look to be like goblin footprints, and they go towards the cave, and then they also come back. But there's other sets of footprints. One of them looks like goat. They go and they never come back. And then there's other sets of footprints that look like, you know, humans and sort of like larger creatures, and they go and never come back.
Right. So the goblin chief that we've got with us, is he still there, or has he dropped us off and gone?
He's actually like, once you got to the bluff, he points you that way, and he hands you like this little trinket and says, "Show the guards this. They will let you go past. Tell them I sent you."
Okay. When I come back from my little scout, I'll tell Asher and Mordecai that it looks like only the goblins have ever come back from this place. All the other footprints and tracks only lead one way.
Well, it seems the old one was telling the truth. Truly it's dangerous inside. Well, Asha, there come on.
But
Well, we're not gonna find out what's in there from over here. Let's head on in.
I lead the way.
Okay. All right, so you guys like head down this winding path that leads you to, this like giant, this like stone bridge that goes over. I told you see the fog, and the two goblins sort of stiffen up as you approach.
Okay, I'll hold out the little trinket he gave us then. And did we get a name off the Goblin Chief?
Well, he said his name was Thorgoroth. That was when he was talking about the shoe shop.
I'll say Thorgoroth sent us. He said you would let us pass, and I'll wave the little trinket thing.
One of them kind of smiles, kind of smirks, and the other one says, yes. And you have the goats with you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He says, just so you know, normally we leave the goats right inside the entrance. There's another bridge inside.
Can you guide us?
We do not cross the bridge.
Why?
We are forbidden. Thorgoroth does not allow us to cross the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
He's and they're not talking about the bridge that they're guarding. They're talking about the bridge that's inside the cave.
Okay. Well, can you talk about what's inside the cave? Aren't you allowed to? As you see, your leader already gave us permission to go inside. It wouldn't be too much if you talked about the dungeon.
He says, well, I'm sure he told you about the queen.
Yep. What else inside?
The queen has many subjects. I do not know much about them, but I know
Math,
that
science, biology. Sorry.
they are all hungry, but not as hungry as her.
Have you ever seen the Queen yourself?
No.
Do you know anyone who's seen the Queen? Or have you only heard stories of her?
Thorgoroth has seen the queen. He has stories. When she comes out, she's very angry. Many things are destroyed.
Have you ever heard her called anything other than the Queen?
No. Just queen.
When does she come out?
Not
At
since
night, mostly.
not since before I was born.
Is there anything she seems to really, really hate?
Yes. Elves.
Ooh.
And she looks over at Mordecai, or he looks over at Mordecai.
Well, I guess I'm going to.
He says, well, I hear she hates elves, but that she also loves them to eat.
Well, I guess she's just lovely. Right?
Did you break her heart, Mordecai, in the past?
I break so many hearts in the past. Well, it wouldn't surprise me.
Let's go and see your old date then.
Let's see, I need to give her my apologies.
We'll give Mordecai 5-10 minutes to do his hair and make sure he's smartly dressed, and then cross the bridge.
Asha, if you don't mind going in the front, I can let you take any risks.
But if you could put a numerical value on your wisdom, what would you say that would be? Out of 18.
I'm above average on wisdom. I would say that I would have a +1 on my bonus.
I'll go first, if that's okay. I have a keen sense for discerning realities.
Okay.
But if
I'll
something
be right
goes wrong,
behind you.
we can change places. If I get
I'll be
hurt
right behind you.
and it goes badly, then yes, I will let you go first. I just need you to kill things. I'll lead the way.
Sure.
Okay.
All right, so the goblins lead you across the first bridge, and as you're approaching the cave, you notice that there's a pair of giant stone doors and there's 2 rings. The doors like kind of pull it out, and each goblin mans a door, and they open them, and they just look at you and they say, "Good luck."
The Jurassic Park theme begins.
Oh,
I head in.
just,
All over the place.
yes.
Okay.
We're looking for danger, hidden danger.
Okay, so Ash, go ahead.
I'll whistle for my wolf and take it in with me.
Okay, so as you guys walk in, like you see that there are some torches, not a whole lot. Like the lighting it's poor, but it's sufficient enough to see. But the elf can see pretty well, but the humans have to squint a little bit.
I cast light
Okay, so you cast light, which
on my staff. No, on my warhammer. I don't have a staff.
okay. All right, so you cast light on your warhammer, and the room lights up as if you were holding a torch, and it will last indefinitely.
I'm a real dick. I go around casting light everywhere so people can't sleep. Every hotel room, I cast it on the bed.
So wrong.
No.
So you guys, like you start walking through this cave, and you approach a natural bridge, and you can hear that there's water flowing underneath the bridge. And at that, I think we're right at about an hour, so let's take our first 5-minute break, if that's okay with you guys.
Okay.
All right. We will be back in 5 minutes. See you then.